is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Another beautiful Thursday on Mfahamu Kiongozi, where we get to hear different stories from leaders in the nation and across the globe. And today I'll be giving focus on former Kisii Deputy Governor, and today he is the ambassador to Kampala, that is Uganda, our neighbors just here. But then we're going to hear his story. Where did this man, this leader, come from? Where was he born? How was life like? How is everything? Or rather, we'd like also to hear whether he has family, his ambitions politically, leadership, where he sees himself in the next 30 years or even 5 years is something we're gonna hear. And any other leader you'd like us to focus to is on T2047 as well. Our social media handles. I'm Elizabeth Mutuku. Walk with me. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for giving me an opportunity to speak to you. How are you?
I've been fine. Yes, I can't complain yet.
I know you cannot, because when I entered this home, I saw a beautiful space. And again, thank you so much for hosting us here.
Welcome.
Where were you born?
I was born in, let me say, my name's Joash Maangi.
Yes.
I'm a lawyer by profession.
Yes.
But now a diplomat.
Yes.
I was born in Kisii, at a place called Itare. Itare village.
Itare means?
Itare means a rock.
A rock?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. I can see rocks where they come from.
Yes. And I grew up there.
Yes.
Just like any other normal
child,
peasant family child.
Peasant family child.
Yes.
Meaning that life was not as smooth as it is today.
Definitely not. We grew up, we were, I'm not even sure if I can use the word modest.
Yes.
I think I can use the word poor.
Poor.
We were poor.
In a family of how many people?
We were a family of 9.
One mother.
One mother, six brothers, and 3 sisters.
Yes.
One is deceased. But 8 of us are still alive.
Still alive. How was life like? Because you're saying it was, you were poor.
Yes.
Take us through the memories, what you remember about your childhood.
You know, my father initially used to work with Kenya Railways in Nairobi. But somewhere in between there, I don't know what happened. He ended up, going to pick tea in Kericho, Kericho tea plantations.
Yes.
And then he finally settled home as a peasant farmer.
Yes.
And that's where all of us were born, the 9 of us.
Yes.
We grew up, as I said, in a normal peasant family.
Yes.
With the normal struggles. Those days, you know, unlike now, when we don't have land in Kisii, those days there was land. And therefore, even if you were a peasant farmer, there was enough food. There was enough food for everybody. One thing I cannot lie about, we never slept hungry. No.
Life was challenging.
There was,
in plenty.
there was always enough food. Because the land by then was okay. There was enough maize, there's enough bananas, potatoes, and all sorts of vegetables. And then we had cows, which means that we were able to get milk, both for tea and for this lactating milk. And so I don't remember struggling
to get food.
But I remember struggling in other areas like money. Like when we went to school, I remember when I went Form 1, I did my primary school in Italy Primary School, and then I went to Sawawongo High School in Siaya. The distance between Kisii and the Siaya, those days, used to take more like 7-8 hours because of transport. So when my father took me to school, he was advised to use small, what they call express vehicles, like from Kisii to Kisumu, they were using a Beecher 504 Express.
Yes.
So that we can reach in time, and so I can also be able to come back to Kisii in time. Now, inevitably, that costed more. So it was costing a lot more. I remember at that time, we spent about 90 shillings transport per person.
Which was a
to
lot.
Sawa, which was a lot. But the truth is that when you use the normal matatus and you use buses, those days they were called Kenya Mwenda Savi, good morning, transport will reduce to up to about 50 or 45.
Yeah.
So I discovered that because my father knew that 9 shillings and 5 shillings is what I needed to go to Sawagongo. So he gave me 100 shillings and something little for pocket money. And then I will use the buses, Kenya Mwenda Savi, good morning, and also use from Kisumu to Sawagongo, use the matatus, the cheaper matatus, then I will save 50 shillings.
Oh, you'd reconnect and connect?
Connect and connect.
At least you save 50 shillings.
Now, these 50 shillings is what used to help me as pocket money. So in the school, you know, if you ask the people I was with in school, they will not tell you that I was poor because they did not know how I was getting money to buy 10 o'clock mandasi, 4 o'clock mandasi. But the truth is that I had found
a way of saving.
A way of saving.
It doesn't matter how long the route will be.
But you see, I never stole. My father always knew that I needed this for transport. So I'll go and improvise, make sure that I use chaya mkato. Then I save 50 shillings. And then now, with 50 shillings, those days, a loaf of bread was 2 shillings. I think 2 or 150. So with 50 shillings, I was able to have every 10 o'clock tea
with
able to have
mandazi
a quarter loaf of bread or a mandazi. Again, 4 o'clock tea, again the same.
You were sorted.
I was sorted.
You knew how to sort yourself.
Yes.
What was your dream while growing up and while going to school?
Interestingly, I don't know if I say this. I don't know if I say this, I'll sound like I'm being arrogant. But
No.
My dream is what I'm living now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Being a lawyer.
Being a lawyer.
That is what you dreamt of.
That's what I wanted to be. And then I used to think that, I used to hope that after some time after being a lawyer, I will be a politician. I had an uncle who was the mayor of Kisii town those days, and I used to admire him. I used to imagine that one day I will also be in charge of Kisii town as a politician. Or even better. And later on I became a deputy governor of Kisii County. So I kind of thank God that I have almost, yes. But when I was in high school, I used to enjoy read. Those who grew up during my time can confirm that we used to have these books, they used to be called James Hadley chess books. The storyline in those chess books was almost the same always. A poor kid living in a poor neighborhood of London. The setup was always in London. Goes to feast a rich uncle during holidays, and is mesmerized. He compares how the uncle lives and how they live back home. A family of 4, 5, 6. Living in a 2-bedroom house, sharing beds and deckers, and with an old jalopy. That's what they used to call it. Now they come to the rich uncle's home, and as the door is opened, they get to a big door, a big gate.
Yes.
And as the gate is opened, they drive through long driveways,
yes,
with manicured lawns, and until they reach home. And the kid will say that for the first time, I slept in my own bed, in my own bedroom. And you know, at the end of the whole day, as the kid is going back home, then he will tell the father, I want to live like this.
This is what I dream
This is
of.
how I want to live. Now, when I used to read these books, I used to see myself as that poor kid who was going to my rich uncle's home. And in this case, I had a rich uncle who was a mayor.
Now you are.
So I used to see exactly, that is me, going to my rich uncle's home.
Yes.
And seeing how they live well, and also hoping that one day,
And while going home, you
yes,
dream of becoming
one
better
day
than that.
I will also live like this.
So after high school, did you pursue law directly, or there were some challenges for you?
After Sahong High School, I went to Maranda High School for A-levels. During our times, we used to have O-level and A-level. So I did O-levels from Sahong, then I went for A-levels in Maranda. Then from Maranda, I went to Nairobi University to pursue law. No, there were no challenges in between there. I think I was above average in class. So
That means you are not the brightest, but you are above average.
well, I got what those days. If I got a Division 1 in Form 4
Yes.
and the equivalent of a straight A in Form 6, so I think no, I was above average.
You were above average at least.
Yes, I got Division 1 in Form 4, and I also got 16 points in Form 6.
That's above average.
Definitely. Now, if you were to translate that into today, that is a straight A, both straight A's. It was not even an A minus. It was a straight A.
That means you are a bright kid.
I will say so.
And you are not bragging.
No, I'm not. Thank you.
I know. Congratulations, that's a good thing. You know, those are good genes. And then you pursued law. Which was your first job? And how did you get it?
I pursued law at the University of Nairobi. And my first job was to work as, I did my pupillage with the law firm of Mugambi and Ali advocates.
And how much did you earn?
You know, we used to be paid 1,000 shillings. I think 1,500. It's 1,500 as pupils in the firm of Mugambi and Ali advocates. Ali is now a court of appeal judge. She was my mentor. We were kind of friends. So that was a people, but sometimes I think that she either saw potential in me because she allowed me to do a number of things that other people were not allowed to do. And after my pupillage, believe me or not, I was never employed anywhere.
Oh.
As soon as I finished from law school,
Yes.
I started my own law firm. And again here, I had a relative who had a bus company that had very many buses. And these are the days when the ambulance chasing used to be very, very common.
Yes.
And every time, almost every day, this businessman had one car, one vehicle, one transport vehicle, one bus being sued in court. So he had a lot of cases. And his main lawyer was in Nakuru, and I was in Nairobi. So he decided to give me a chance. Said, hey, those ones that are not being done by our lawyer in Nakuru, why don't you try? And that's how that was the break I needed. And I know in the practice of law, you don't need money to start practicing law. What you need is clients. So I had a good client, and that enabled me to open my law firm right straight after college. I like to brag that I bought my first car 3 months after college.
3 months after college?
Yes.
At how much?
It was 51,000 shillings.
Which type of car?
It was a small little Mini Morris.
Mini Morris.
Mini Morris, yes. I think 6 months later, I bought a better car. And I think I can say that the rest is history.
Yes, and the rest is history because already we can see.
But after, and then I practiced law in Nairobi up to 1997 when I went to America. And in America, I worked, in America, when you go to America, you do all sort of these things, these fun jobs.
Not anymore.
Menial jobs. Yes. And, but I was lucky that after I did those menial jobs for about 3 months only, I was lucky and I got a job as a staffing and recruitment coordinator, more like a human resources manager, where I worked for 5 years. And after 5 years, I got tired because that was more like an open job, and I needed something more challenging. So I went back to law school. I went to William Mitchell College of Law in Minnesota, where I did my Doctor of Juris degree. I graduated in 2005, and practiced law did my bar exam and passed, and practiced law in America up to 2007.
Were you married all this time?
Yes.
Oh, when did you get married?
I got married in 1996. Just before I went to America. I got married in 1996 and to my beautiful wife.
How did you meet her? How did you meet this wonderful woman?
Incidentally, my wife and I were at the University of Nairobi at the same time, but I did not know her at the university. So I met her when we were already out, when I was already practicing law.
Yes.
And a cousin of hers, who knew both of us, introduced us. And we got married in 1996. We have 2 sons. We have 2 sons who are adult. I'm not exactly young.
I know, but that is okay.
Yeah, both of my sons live in America. One has finished schooling, the other one is still in school. Yes, so I have a family.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
Congratulations. I know very well you lived in America, but then you decided to come back to politics. Yes. What inspired you?
That's why I say that sometime in 1997, I was chairman of the Kenyan community in Minnesota. We hosted an investment conference in America where I was the chairman. And that investment conference was very successful. We had 9 ambassadors coming to present their countries, including Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. We had 9, in total we had 9 ambassadors. And we had several Fortune 500 executives attending. And the governor of Minnesota was the chief guest. So it was a huge success. Now, I think the people who sponsored the investment conference, a number of them were very impressed with how we had done, how we did our job. And one of the companies that was sponsoring the investment conference approached me and my colleague, Henry, and asked us if we can connect them to Kenyan politicians because they had tried to penetrate the Kenyan real estate market. They said for the last 10 years they had tried, but they were not managing. So they asked us if we could help them penetrate, they can get contact. And at that time, interestingly, at that time, the ambassador of Kenya to US, his name was Peter Oginga Ogego, was in Minnesota. So I was like, oh, you want to meet the Kenyan leaders? I can bring him tomorrow to your office. So we took Ogego to his office the next day. So they had a discussion. We had a wonderful discussion. They agreed that the right person to discuss those investment things with will be the Minister for Finance. At that time, there was this member of parliament for Kibibiri, Munya. Munya? What is it? Kimunya. Yeah. Yes. Now, again, as fate will have it, Kimunya was coming to Washington around that time. So we went to Washington to go and see Kimunya. But we didn't get to meet him, but he gave us an appointment to come and see him in Kenya. We came to Kenya, we saw him. He put us through to Kinyua, who was the PS Treasury. Kinyua put us through to the Minister for Housing, Soita Shitanda, who put us together with the PS and the MD National Housing Corporation, and we secured that contract. It was the first public-private partnership to build civil servants housing. We build houses, we got the contract, and the CEO of my company was so impressed that he asked me to remain behind and manage the business on his behalf. So he gave me a job as vice president, business development, and between 2009 and 2013, that's what I was doing.
I know you served as the deputy governor of Kisii.
Yes.
And there was a time you couldn't see eye to eye with your boss then.
I served as the deputy governor of Kisii, and before, let me tell you, contrary to what people think, I and Ngwai, at a personal level, we're very good friends up to now.
Only politics.
But politics, we had a different, we are differing in opinions, because I was a very staunch supporter of William Samoei Ruto,
the current president, yes,
who was my friend way back from 1992.
Yes.
We have been friends from way back 1992. And in fact, when I went to America in 1997, he's the one who gave me a ticket. So we were very close. And there's no way I could abandon him. And Ngwai, remember,
was on the other side.
Ngwai was the manager, was the campaign manager for Raila when Raila was running for president in 2013. So Ngwai's loyalty was 100% with Raila.
And yours was
my loyalty was 100% with Ruto. But you see, we were brought together because of common interest. Yeah, I always tell people, I always tell my colleague deputy governors that you must always understand why you were picked. If you do not understand why you were picked, you'll be dropped in time. And once you know why you were picked, you must protect that reason. For me, I was picked because Kisii is geographically divided into two, the northern part and the southern part. Ngwai came from the northern part, and I came from the southern part. I had a very good rapport with the people in the southern part. I kind of controlled the voting patterns of the people in the southern part. So that is the value I brought to Ngwai. And Ngwai came with the value for me.
And that could not be taken away from you.
And I made sure that I protected it. So even if we had a quarrel,
you could differ, but
I would differ, but I would make sure that I protected my territory.
Yes.
That way I remained relevant throughout.
Do you have any regrets in life?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that, you know, I wish I were a better investor. I made some good money, little money.
You say
quite early in my life.
Yes.
You know, I think I made my first million in 1993. And I wish I had somebody to guide me. If I had somebody to guide me, I think I'll be very far today.
More than where you are today?
Yes. But the reason why I say that I have yes and no, I am a Christian. So I'm the kind of person who says that what will happen will happen. So I believe that God has a plan for all of us. And I think this is where God wanted me to be
God's plans are the best.
But sometimes I regret that had I not gone to America, I think I would be doing much, much, much better. I feel like the times
you wasted a lot of time in America.
Yes, I wasted 12 years
That
in
is
America.
something you regret.
I wish I had remained here. But then, again, as I say, God's timing is the best.
How do you balance between your business and how does your day look like?
You know, my day is a very normal routine, but in my previously, when I was deputy governor, my day used to start from at 7, 8 and end at 7, 8 again. We were very busy. And the weekends, we were always doing politics, running up and down. Still, even when I was vice president of Lemna, between 2000 and 2013, I was also very busy, always doing 12-hour jobs. But for the last 2 years, from the time we finished from the 2022 elections, I have had a chance to rest. Frankly speaking, I sometimes I think it was God's plan.
So, I know you've been nominated to represent this country to Kampala, Uganda. But there are challenges sometimes between us and that nation, Migingo. How are you going to help us as we conclude this?
First and foremost, I would like to thank His Excellency the President, William Samoei Ruto, for appointing me as an ambassador. You know, being ambassador is a privilege because you represent the president and you also represent your country at the international arena. In this case, I'll be representing the president in the country of Kenya in Uganda. It's a privilege and I don't take it for granted. I sincerely thank him for that privilege. Now, coming to how we want to do this Migingo thing, you know, Kenya and Uganda occupy a very special position for each other. Mm-hmm. Kenya is Uganda's largest trading partner, and Uganda is Kenya's largest trading partner. And they're neighbors with a very long boundary. And when you live together like neighbors, they are bound to have a few disputes here and there. Now, a dispute like the Migingo dispute is bound to crop up because of business interests. So some of these challenges are exaggerated. But again, people talk. Our relationship with Uganda is perfect, and I'm privileged to go and serve in a country that is our major trading partner. I hope that God will give me energy and strength to represent our president and our country in Uganda effectively, so that we can even improve the relationship so that they can even be better than they are now.
Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best. We're looking forward to coming to Kampala while you are there serving the
You'll
nation.
be most welcome.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to hear your story. Again, we're looking forward to work with you closely as TV47. I'm Elizabeth Mutuku. Each and every day, that is Thursday, 7:30 p.m., you get to hear a story from a different leader, and I believe you're inspired. See you soon. Keep it TV47.